We're here today to talk about the Sony A7R Mark V, and I'm joined by Magic wedding photographer. But first, we're gonna grab some pineapples.
Yes, please.
To get pineapples.
Got that new Sony A7R Mark V AI autofocus won't leave my eye. Double dials up top, full flip, it tilts 61 MP straight ergo built. Whoa, is this a McDonald's? Whoa, it's a McDonald's. Yeah, it's a McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's with my new camera.
Tasty treat. Sony A7R Mark V. It's a great camera. I'm out here using it. I shot it at a wedding day prior to coming here to Lisbon. And what are your thoughts? What are you feeling?
No, seriously, I love it. It's great. I feel that autofocus is superior to any other Sony cameras that I've used in the past. Maybe on par with A1. Have you shot with A1?
I have not shot the A1.
You have to shoot with A1 so we can have your opinion and we can talk.
All right. In comparison to the A7 IV,
It's
that I've been shooting all wedding season pretty much since, I would say, maybe July, August. It is significantly better. It just feels nicer. It's easy. I feel like you don't gotta think a whole lot when you're using the camera. Waves are getting out of hand over here. Never turn your back on the ocean. Let's go somewhere else. Yes, this is better. In comparison to the Sony A7 IV, it feels a lot more effortless to use. What are your thoughts, your feelings in comparison to the camera that you've been using for weddings?
Yeah, so I've shot all my wedding season with A7 IV, and it's been amazing. And A7R IV, so the previous version of the R camera, it did feel way slower compared to A7 IV when using it. So autofocus was not as snappy and as capable. Like everything was basically slower. And then what's interesting, the ISO performance, because of the huge files, was not as good. And now R5 comes in and it's better in every way than A7 IV. And the ISO performance is really great, is I would say on par with A7 IV. And then there's only one downside. You know what it is? Do you know what it is?
We should go somewhere else to talk about the downside.
Downside, okay, we have to go down. Let's be down there at the water.
So what is the downside?
You don't know? No, so I feel like the only downside is the big file. So it's like both, it's a blessing and a curse. You have so many details and then you have such a big file, so you need the bigger cards, you need the bigger hard drives, you need a bigger archives, you need a bigger Dropbox to back up it all, I guess.
I find that even the lossless medium files are very, very large. And in terms of wedding photography, I would say that it takes me, usually I shoot 128 gig cards and I can get through a full day. I don't like to change cards on a wedding day. I don't want to put them in a wallet. It stresses me out. And I definitely need 256 cards or potentially even 512 gigabyte cards to do a wedding on this camera, even when set to lossless medium.
That is correct. But if you love megapixels, this is your pick and you don't worry about the size because you like the size. The size comes with the responsibility.
Here are some other things that I enjoy about this camera. I like that you can lock the dial up top. Manual aperture, lock to manual, aperture priority. It stays there. You're not gonna move it.
I love the screen, it's amazing. It's the screen I wanted. Like it moves like I wanted and it shows what I wanted. Beautiful screen.
Another thing I like is the back two dials. One is set to ISO, one is set to shutter speed, and your front dial is set to aperture. When you're shooting manual, it's very, very easy.
I love the buffer. I was able to shoot around 100 images if I was shooting only RAW, compressed, which is more than I ever wanted. On the first shoot, I did shoot RAW plus HEIF, and that was slowing me down because HEIF are big files, but if you're shooting only RAWs, it's nice.
One thing that I don't quite love is that if you're shooting the EVF in high quality, it looks amazing until you half press the shutter and you're actively in autofocus. Then it goes back to standard quality, which does not look as good. It's not the greatest shooting experience in the world. I shoot a lot with my LCD. I would say that I shoot wedding days, probably 99% of the frames, maybe even more, are shot on the LCD monitor and not through the EVF. But if you are somebody that uses the EVF often, it might be a problem. Another thing that I really like about this camera is it does all of this within a body size that is not a permanently gripped body. I know some of you may prefer grip bodies or use a battery grip. I prefer to have a smaller camera, one that I can travel with, and even on a wedding day, I usually shoot 2 bodies, so I'd rather have a smaller camera than a larger camera, and this does it all in that small, ungripped package.
How do you feel about the price, Taylor?
I don't know what the price is yet. They haven't told me the price. Have they told you the price?
4,500 euros in Europe.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
So that's 1,500 euro more, roughly, than an A7?
2,000.
2,000 more than an A7. So you're paying, that's almost double the price of the camera.
Price of the A7 IV.
That's interesting. So as a main camera, very, very nice to have. It will do not only wedding photography things, but all commercial photography and video creation needs. You don't even do videos.
I don't care about video. I'm a photographer.
You do YouTube videos, but you don't do video production.
I don't, no.
How do you feel about the price of the camera? Is it too much? Not enough?
I feel like this camera is like differently positioned. I would say it's almost A1 killer, but like without the silent shutter. That's the only thing that keeps A1 now. We lost the light. I feel sad now. It's cloudy. I'm gonna change position and speak to you guys. So yeah, so the only thing now A1 has that is superior is gonna be the silent shutter and a 30 frames per second, and I think like slightly faster autofocus. So this A7R V kind of became this like almost A1.
I'll also mention that even though it is a large megapixel sensor, I was expecting the rolling shutter to be absolutely terrible, and it's actually kind of okay. Keep it down, please.
Vehicle autofocus.
I think vehicle autofocus,
Train
insect autofocus, shrimp autofocus.
Shrimp? Oh, that'd be lovely.
Rabbit.
Is
autofocus.
shrimp considered an animal? Then it would have it.
It's a shellfish.
Shellfish. There's no fish autofocus.
There is no. Is there fish autofocus? I bet there.
Are they considered animal?
I'm curious. I think we need to test this. So we're gonna go underwater next. We can go to the aquarium.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
So Taylor, we're not going to the aquarium?
It's only open for another half an hour, and the Uber will take 23 minutes to get us there.
Okay.
So instead we're going to focus on these fish that we downloaded from artgrid.io, which is not a sponsor.
But should be.
But
Pay us money.
there we go. Is it working, the fish?
Nope.
No?
It's giving me the square vibes, the square with 2.
Okay, so it's not identifying a fish. It does boxes on the fish, it just doesn't
box,
identify it
but
as
an animal.
Okay.
It doesn't do the special box and the eye box. Yes.
Okay, so if you're photographing normal animals, you'd be fine. If you're photographing fish, not fine.
You're fished.
Well, you're fine. You're still have great autofocus, it just doesn't subject detect it. To wrap this up,
So if you would be to rent...
sorry
So if you would be to rank
that
this
we didn't
camera...
go to the aquarium.
Yeah, I'm sad.
I would rank this camera. This
If you
will
would
be
like
this will be my
points
camera.
on a scale from 9 to 10.
From 9 to 10. So
Yes.
9 is the 1 and 10 is the 10.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say for my specific needs, it is actually a 10. For everyone's specific needs, it might not be, but for mine, for what I do, I would say it's very, very good. And it does seem like all the features were kind of designed for what I was looking for in a camera. Not only across wedding photography, but also across commercial video and YouTube with the front-facing screen, but also a tilt screen. A few things I'm bummed about, that the EVF, if you're shooting through it, it goes to kind of half quality whenever you actively engage autofocus. Files are a little bit too large, and tiny crop on 4K 60, but that's
If
not
the
a big deal.
medium raw would be like 33 megapixels,
Medium
like
compressed
A7 IV,
raw.
that would
Yeah.
be insane.
I would
But
love
it's
that.
26. It's still, when you shoot APS-C on this camera, it is the highest megapixels than any other APS-C camera that Sony has.
Yeah, that's nice that you have bonus, I don't know, usability from the camera. That if you have, I have my C2 button up top set to APS-C mode, so if I hit that, I'm in APS-C. Get to the end of a zoom lens, you shoot primes only,
Yes.
G-Master primes,
Yes.
and I shoot a few zooms. And when I get to the end of that zoom range, if I want to get a little bit closer, say wedding ceremony, I want to get that close up, a little bit easier than running with my feet.
Shall we make a song about G-Master lenses?
We can go make a song about G-Masters now.
We are G-Masters. Make sure you use Magic Wedding Photographer affiliate link, so go to my channel, not Taylor Jackson's. Go to mine, Magic Wedding Photographer, and make sure you use my links and buy my presets. Don't buy his shit. It's not good. Not good at all.